Giro Rosa Stage 8 up the Monte Zoncolan. Sorry this is delayed, I was not feeling great yesterday. Anyway, here's the stage profile, basically dead flat, and then the Zoncolan. So here we go, the beginning of the Zoncolan. It starts at Alvero, ends at Monte Zoncolan. It's about 10km climb at 12%. So that's absolutely brutal for anyone, like even pro riders, it's absolutely horrible. You can see Amanda Spratt's in the green jersey at this moment in time. We've got Bills Dormans with Chantal Black in the World Champions jersey on the front, driving it. Megan Garnier is also there. There's always a couple early attacks on the Monte Zoncolan. You know, everyone wants to ride their own pace, so set in an early attack. This bit, is pretty fast. A lot of drafting going on, but later on, it really does just become pretty much an individual time trial. The draft, there's a tiny amount, maybe like 2%, maybe, but it's so minimal that you can't really say it has any advantage. Why are people riding disc brakes up the Monte Zoncolan? I have absolutely no idea. I guess the Women's World Tour don't have enough money to have two different bikes, but on this day, it really doesn't make any sense. I like this sign, leave all hopes here for those who enter. It's a good one. Anyway, unfortunately, we had no TV coverage at the bottom of it, but we joined with about maybe 6 kilometers to go, I believe, and we have Annemiek van Vleuten, Ashley Moolman-Pasio. Now, they're both 1 and 2 on GC, and they also, on the individual time trial the day before, got 1 and 2. So Moolman-Pasio is basically, Ashley Moolman-Pasio got 3rd, and the person second was Van Dijk. This is the next group with Marino and Andre Spratt. And have a look how skinny Marino's arms are, possibly the skinniest arms I think I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, Moolman-Pasio basically has to just drive this and try and put as much time into Van Dijk, and hopefully Van Vleuten cracks. You can see here, shit's getting serious. The sunglasses are getting thrown. That's when you know it's game on. But yeah, Moolman-Pasio was looking like she was spinning a lot higher cadence. Look here, Moolman-Pasio potentially, she either had a 34-34 and Van Vleuten had a 34-32, or Van Vleuten just wasn't using her easiest gears. Here you can see the small gears that Marino is running. This is, believe it would be a 34-32. We get some more gear action with the oversized pulley wheels here again. That doesn't really, to me, it does look like a 32, not a 34, but it can be hard to tell. But you can see here Van Vleuten's definitely grinding a lot more than Moolman-Pasio. Potentially that's just her preferred technique, or maybe she only had a 34-28, I'm not sure. But anyway, here we go on the slightly flatter part. It's still steep. Van Vleuten decides, you know what, Moolman-Pasio, cheers for dragging me up this whole climb, but I'm saying cheerio. Now, Moolman-Pasio, she said afterwards that she didn't want to blow up and just follow it. She just wanted to ride her own race and just basically just go as hard as she possibly could the whole way up. And if that meant Van Vleuten would attack, then it didn't matter. She didn't really seem to mind that much, because the draft, as I said before, it's not crazy. You can see here, Van Vleuten's just looking pretty calm, not too much rocking, and just looking like she's very on top of this gear. Is grinding probably a little bit more than she might necessarily expect, considering on the other day, but on her TT bike she was not grinding as much, but still, I feel like she does prefer the 80 cadence. It looks like that for sure. She's not a Chris Froome 100 cadence. Anyway, Amanda Spratt then catches Marino once the 1-3 on the day. You can see the gaps here: 10 seconds for Moolman-Pasio and a minute 42 for everyone else, and Lucinda Brand has lost a lot of time. Anyway, easy win for Annemiek van Vleuten in the end. Took it pretty convincingly. She did have a gap of up to a minute at one point, but I believe in the end it was only a couple seconds, to be fair. You can see Moolman-Pasio is just crossing the line now. 3 hours 17:54, and Moolman-Pasio, you can see, still has a little bit of a way to go. Spinning that nice cadence, Moolman-Pasio looks pretty in control. I've noticed a lot of the female riders do a very wide handlebars. I'm not sure why that is, to be honest, because she definitely looks like she's reaching out a lot. Maybe she just prefers it that way. I know some smaller climbers like Quintana do have wide handlebars, and then you may think, but even so, I feel like maybe a 38. I switched to a 38, did enjoy that. But anyway, Moolman-Pasio is a bit of a legend, so she does what she wants. She's got a pretty nice Cervelo there, oversized pulley wheels as well. She looks pretty calm. She doesn't look like she's rocking too much on the bike. She looks like she was in control of that stage and just rode her own tempo. And then Amanda Spratt and everyone else, they came in a lot further down. I haven't actually seen the whole results sheet. I might just have a little check now, to be honest, because I feel like the people who came in last, it might have been a very, very long way back, because, to be honest, Annemiek van Vleuten absolutely destroyed that stage, and there wasn't really anyone else coming close, let's be honest. Alright, so here we go. Annemiek van Vleuten, 3 hours 17. So the person who came in last was, some people didn't start. Julian de Hoor finished 29 minutes down. That is very brutal. This is actually, stage 9. But would they have had to walk? That's the question. I'm not sure. Maybe. But that would be absolutely brutal if you had to walk up the Monte Zoncolan. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple would, because it's a real steep one. And if you only got 34, 32, and like, I don't know, it'd be interesting. Unfortunately, we have no coverage of that or on Instagram or anything else. But anyway, cheers for watching. I've got some more parts coming into about the Strava data next. Alright, so you just saw Annemiek van Vleuten absolutely destroy everyone else really up the Zoncolan, 40 seconds into Ashley Moolman-Pasio. So we're going to go on a Strava, and we're going to see the times she got, the times the guy has got. Alright, so we'll just go on women first, and you'll be able to see Annemiek van Vleuten, 41 minutes, then Amanda Spratt, 44 minutes, then we have Ida Marino at 44 minutes and 13 seconds. Now, Ida Marino is very small, maybe like 50 kilos, more or less. So I'd say, I predict around, probably, maybe even less, probably about 4.5 watts per kilo for 44 minutes, more or less, I'd say. That would be my prediction, based on some of the men's power and stuff like that. So around 4.5 here. I predict this would be around 5 to 5.3 watts per kilo for Annemiek van Vleuten. Maybe about 5 watts per kilo. You can see we've got a lot of riders who have been posting on the Stravs recently, but again, a lot of them don't have their weight or they're so far back, it's not really worth analysing. So we'll now go on to the men and just have a look at the, well, actually we'll just go on to everyone. Thibaut Pinot has the KOM with 35 minutes. This is not the whole climb. I believe the whole climb is actually 10 kilometers at 12%, so this is slightly shorter, 7.54 at 13%, but it gives you an idea of what sort of power these guys are doing. So we then have Mike Woods with 338 watts. Now that's at 5.3 watts per kilo, which I'm not 100% sure is correct. It might be his power data often seems odd. In the Vuelta, he was recording ridiculously high numbers, like 7 watts per kilo for 10 minutes. At the end of the stage, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm not really going to trust that man's power. Ben O'Connor, another big boy. I think he probably weighs, I don't know, decent 60 something. Hopefully he has his weight in here. He does not. We'll have a Google and see if Ben O'Connor does have his weight. But anyway, it's pretty interesting to be able to see. We also have Chris Froome's power data for that. He is 66 kilos, more or less. So 382 divided by 66, and we're getting more or less what we expect, which will be about 5.8. Yeah, so that's sort of what I predicted Thibaut Pinot. So anyway, all right, we can go on to my little spreadsheet that I made. So Chris Froome won the stage with a time of 34 minutes 20 on the Strava thing, 13.2 kilometers an hour average, and 6 watts per kilo. Now this is coming from Chris Froome's data here. So it says that he did 440 to 450 watts, and I believe that will include the 6% higher due to the oval chain rings. So in reality, he did about 425, which is around 6 watts per kilo for the man. Now we have the KOM, which is about 42 seconds slower, so I predict that will be about 5.8, 5.9 watts per kilo. And based on, the data that we're getting from Ben O'Connor, who said that he's 66, he did 380 watts, so that was about 5.8, 5.7, something around that. So yeah, that does seem about right, more or less. Maybe Ben O'Connor's power data is reading a little bit high. As you can see, the power data is interesting. It says Mike Woods did 5.3 and Ben O'Connor did 5.8. So I mean, it's like, it doesn't always read perfectly, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, yeah, so then if we go back onto who we actually really want to talk about, which is Annemiek van Vleuten. Now, she was about 6 minutes 53 slower than Chris Froome and would have finished 36th overall on the men's stage. So if she'd done the same time, obviously it's impossible to compare because they're two different races. The racing before in the Giro Rosa was quite easy in comparison to the Giro d'Italia. But anyway, 5 watts per kilo for 41 minutes in the middle of a stage is very solid. And I believe the reason why she was put less watts out today than compared to the time trial is just because she was grinding a lot, as you saw in the footage before. She had some... I guess she was running 34.32, and she's not going as fast as Chris Froome, who's doing a 34.32, or what's his name, Thibaut Pinot. So obviously she's going to be grinding more, and that's not going to be as efficient. But anyway, cheers for watching. Hope you found this video interesting. It's quite good when the guys and the girls do the same climbs, especially when there's no drafting, because on this climb, it's so steep that it really is, you can take out drafting quite a lot, which is quite useful. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this vid, and I'll see you in the next one.